All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Apothecary Diaries, Season 2, Episode 16.
Okay.
Why do I feel like this is the calm before the storm?
Because last episode, I think, was the calm before the storm. We had a lot of moments with Mao Mao being like, this is nice. I like this. This is nice.
Yeah, wow, happiness. Isn't this great?
It's great. And then we had Lumen coming back. Love it.
Awesome.
Because Gyokyu's pregnancy might turn out to be a difficult one.
And there are a whole lot of variables from previous pregnancies that may or may not be indicative of foul play. Or rather, there's definitely foul play going on. We just don't know which ones are the foul play and from where. Right. And then we also have Suirei just, standing in front of, in a graveyard, just being like, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Having her Kylo Ren moment. Grandfather, I will finish what we started.
Oh, man.
Sorry. I didn't mean to compare greatness to that,
Ooh, that felt rough.
But, hey, we've got the past being brought up, dredged up. We've got things from previous secrets, all kinds of other stuff being bubbling up to the surface.
A whole
Mao
spider
Mao
web.
Can't keep them out of her ears with any kind of la 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 la. I'm not listening kind of stuff.
In fact, that might be Jinshi's specific request because, it
definitely was.
The hairpin, and I'll tell you when I see you wearing it.
Yeah. Jinshi might have made you sign a deal with way more in italicized, small text at the bottom than you are really ready for.
Oh, I just have to wear it? Yeah, just that.
Yeah.
Who knows what that means?
Who knows? Yeah. But y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Yes. Yeah. That's good. He's attained enlightenment.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Very smart. Yeah. Oh god, it's another 2 pregnancy situation with Lumen being brought in.
No!
I hope that isn't...
Don't say that!
Thing. Yeah. Right. There's actually like a specific few that are... He's like, can I acquire some? Yeah. Very smart.
Nice.
Yeah. Maybe he's like you a lot more than you think.
Keeping the head down.
Supposed to put it on as a promise. Oh. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. The north, yep. We will remember this.
Yeah.
Like what? Yeah. When you two were much younger. Wow.
What kind of notices? Wow.
Well.
It ended up being a guidebook
Yeah.
on what to do.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
That's scary. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Uh-huh. It'd be someone older. Hello.
Nice.
高級の女官はだいたい2年が年季ですが、皆様長くいらっしゃるようなので。
年間ばかりだもの。私たちだって若かったわよ。
Yeah.
私は10歳で高級に入った。
Dang.
他の女官たちもそれくらいの年。
You've watched tons of people come and go.
皇帝のお手つきとなれば、ただの女官でも高級を出ることはできない。
Dang.
Wow.
私たちは誰も迎えに来てくれないから。
高級に、帝に、そして帝から寵を得る妃たちに。救っていた悪意はここにあった。
Yeah. Wow.
水晶宮の次女頭である真に、
Uh-huh.
作り方を教えたのは、シェンリュではないだろうか。
何か気になることでも？
Wow.
映したくないんです。もしかしたら誤解にされてるかもしれなくて。
Damn. Yeah.
避けるべきものは悪意あるものに何が毒なのかを教えることにもなる。その材料になるものが売られていれば。
Oh my god.
Yeah, you have a great reason for why to spread the info.
Now this is your speculation, but like the way it's being shown is so damning.
Yeah.
私にできるのは診療所に救う悪意が他に及ぶ前に摘み取ること。
Ooh, okay.
もし気になる方があれば持って行っていいわよ。
Yeah. She likes you. She's like, yeah.
たくさんありますね。ずいぶん立派な虫の図説ですね。
ああ、それもいつの間にか置いてあったのよね。一月前くらい。
A month ago.
Who's been really interested in insects?
Yeah.
これは
Uh-huh.
というと特使を迎えての宴があった。
図鑑でしか見たことない虫がいっぱい。
Uh-huh.
この図説。
Wow.
シスが虫の絵を描いていたとき、紙の帳面を。
Oh my god.
そいつには気をつけた方がいい。
男にしては高い声、女にしては低い声、男にしては背が低く。
No way. You're in danger, Mao Mao.
推理。
Holy shit. Oh.
そいつはお前が何をしたかさっきの会話で察しているぞ。
Oh my god. Oh my god.
余計なことはしない方がいい。
Holy shit.
できれば穏便に済ませたい。
蘇りの薬の後遺症ですか。
Holy shit. Holy shit.
それがどうした？こちらの目的を言おうか。
聞くと思いますか。
聞いてもらう。
Oh, damn.
Oh, that's a good play.
Uh-huh.
この娘がどうなってもいい。
Wow.
何を
And she's never in any danger because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh my god. Holy shit.
Yeah. I'll leverage that info to get you out of the palace. Just go.
Oh my god.
She is you
Oh my
with
god.
like no morals, no qualms.
軍部の高官であるラカンが。
Okay, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
先帝の代からの重鎮であり、四北州を。
Fun,
Gotcha,
fun. Fun.
All right.
Pitting them against each other.
この後茶でもどうかと思いまして。せっかくの機会ですから師匠殿もご一緒に行かないと。私もですか。
I love how they're framing these two against each other because that sets up Lacan to be a
Yeah.
very useful ally.
Oh yeah.
Like, very useful.
鍵開きめいてまいりましたな。
This is also daytime, whereas Mema's situation was getting towards the evening.
Yeah, we're kind of catching back up, I'd say. To know
Unless
what's
this
going
is the
on.
next day.
It could be. We'll see. We'll see.
面白いものが手に入り。
Oh.
レイファの設計図。
Oh.
これが何かご存知。
Do you know what this is?
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
失礼。続けてください。
He's well informed.
解体して図に起こしたものですが。
Oh, brilliant.
それは大層なものですな。ええ、 大量に作ることができれば戦がガラリと変わるでしょうな。あやつらはどうやってこれを手に入れたんですかね。担当部署の者が加減を間違えたようで何も喋れなくなってしまう。
Oh,
Really?
that's a big mistake. Yeah.
それで何かそれらしい話を聞いたことはありませんかな、師匠。
I'm reading your face very closely.
では本題に移りますか。
Dang, I love Lacan's voice acting.
つま
Oh, yeah, okay.
7日7晩お祭り騒ぎだったと聞いて
Oh,
そんなことも。
I'm so happy for him.
これが研ぎ澄まされた刃のような筋で打っている間何度ぞ
Oh,
I'm
ほらこの手なんとか避け切ってもまた次の一
she
I'm
almost took Sente from me.
yeah. I'm waiting for the point when he brings this back to. Anyways, I started talking with her about work.
Right.
では後で寄付の写しと実況を書いた冊子を届けさせましょう。
Yeah, I love the way Lacan like plays with misdirection to try and like rattle people.
会えますぞ。
確かに美しいですな。
That's green.
Yeah.
Lacan, you
このジュース
Fascinating.
yeah.
世の中には緑色
Uh-huh.
存在する。おじきの言った通りだ。
Oh, the color blindness thing that was brought up.
But that was also how you were supposed to be able
Before.
to tell
髪を整えてか
who was like a rightful heir.
Right.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
上げ底の靴というのも
Wait!
慣れるものだ
Anuo!
What?
これがまさか元上級妃の
Ah!
狐が人すぎてタヌキが普通に見
娘にも甘いそうです。
Yes.
君子殿の娘。
その娘の件で対応に追われているのだろう
Right. Can we get
Oh
back
shit.
to... Gotcha. So this is all within the context of her having disappeared.
Yep.
Jinshi is beside himself trying to figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna have an in media res thing and have to
Oh
catch up
my
with what's
God!
going on. Ah, this episode!
an episode like that show.
Oh my God! Okay,
That was wild.
We escalated things to full-on war here.
Oh, yeah.
This is bad. We have...
And this is 2/3 of the way through the season.
Yeah, we have-
like
we
there's
have a
so much
two-quarter-
show left.
Yeah.
But like, what?
Right. So I think the part that's the most terrifying thing about this is because our antagonists are limited in what they can do inside the rear palace, they got Mao Mao to leave the rear palace so that they can then do what they need to with her.
Right.
Now, the problem with this is that once Mao Mao's out of the rear palace, I'm guessing the main issue is that they wouldn't necessarily just want to kill her. They'd want to use her then as a means to get to Jinshi.
Right.
Which is good because that means Mao Mao lives,
Is a bit more safe, yeah.
but it's bad in that...
Mao Mao
Oh.
now knows so much that it could be the thing of the, we just got to kill her to keep her quiet. Now, of course, she's not going to die. She's the main character of the show.
Right.
But she is in very, 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 very real danger here.
Uh-huh.
And I love that we also still don't have the details for everything because we had the whole deal of showing Jinshi, in the meeting and all that stuff.
Right.
And then surprise, it's Aduo. And then we basically
Love it.
learn that, Jinshi is just,
He's looking for Mao Mao.
right.
Gaoshin is
And-
with him too because it was Li Haku that was there.
Yes.
with
And
him
so-
as well.
and so this is-
Gaoshin is on the case.
Yep, this was a very fun way to be like, hey, we're going to have things escalate like crazy. We are going to keep things a bit of a mystery still so that, you're still not going to know, right? We have to watch the next episode to know exactly what the situation is. It could be that Mao Mao's out of the rear palace. It could be that she is in some lengthy process of being taken out of the rear palace.
Oh, I think she's definitely being moved somewhere.
Yeah, she's
But it's
definitely
whether
being
she's
moved.
already outside of the palace and she's being taken out of the country.
Right. Or
there's-
it's just, she's in transit. She's, I don't know. Who knows, right?
Yeah, the part that I'm really freaking out about this is that regardless of where she is, Jinshi has nothing to go on.
Right.
There is no way he could find out anything about where she is.
Well, and that's where I feel like it's the whole thing of it totally makes sense that this isn't a thing that's set up, but because Mama wouldn't have liked this and all sorts of other things, right? But if they had, realized like Mama has gotten into so much trouble, over the course of the show, that there would have been potential grounds for hey, let us know when you're going somewhere, right? Leave a record at your previous place that you were at,
Hence the girls laughing at he has common sense. You don't.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And the way that she'll just be like, oh, like, I'm going to go potentially investigate this, possibly crazy situation where she's already pieced together that, like, shit could be real bad here. And she goes by herself to do that without telling anybody. Now, as far as we know, not telling anybody.
Right. While that's worked in the past, the motivations of those characters ended up being one where they'd ended up just confessing to Mao Mao, like breaking down crying or just being like, I was trying to do the right thing.
The things that they were
weren't
doing.
Suire showing up with 2 like needle blades or what have you, like fucking Wolverine being like, I'll kill you. Like, if it gets that bad, I'll kill you. Oh, but no, we won't do that here.
But
I will kill this one.
Yeah. Right.
Which I love.
That's so fun. It's so dastardly, but also so juicy because we haven't seen Lolan's perspective on much of this, right? We know that Lolan is Shisui, but like, we don't know what that means, right? Like, we are having fun with Shisui, but this could totally be I am cold and bloodless, and
So let's draw a mental character map here. Right now, Suire is working with Shenlu. Shenlu is someone that carries history back to stuff with the previous emperor and the empress's terror reign or what have you. So she has a resentment and means to enact her desires. Which, to my immediate assessment of things, means that she is not, I would say, the head of this whole thing any more than Suire is. She is having her desire to harm the emperor and thus his family and all that by extension utilized by people like Suire. But if we draw a connection from them to then people that have motivation to harm the emperor, and by extension there, it would be someone that could potentially bring their family or their influence into that position, which would make it then extend to the consorts. Lolan is a consort now. She was put there in a lot of ways, very overtly so, by her father, Shisho. Shisho is now being shown in the same episode to be opposed in a rival sorts of way, intelligence-wise and in terms of role and function, to Lacan.
And Lacan sussed out and made Shisho reveal that he's colorblind, which is one of the requirements to determine royal blood.
Right. Which means he is, even if he is not some direct kind of aspect of things there, he is somewhat connected to the old order of things via either being a nephew, cousin, brother, what have you. It's not really important. The main thing right now is that we can then determine that Shisho is most likely to be the most powerful person in this organization thus far.
Right, unless you're talking about some other nation that's, trying to help make this happen.
Right, and that's something that is also potentially at play given the stuff with the guns.
Right, but that's far enough removed that for the practical purposes of this show, that's a different thing.
Yeah, that could be a thing that they bring up later, but for now, with regards to the internal palace drama here, Shisho seems to be utilizing people beneath him to position his daughter, who is then by extension of royal blood, to then take the rightful rule away from things via whatever means they use.
We make sure that all the other male heirs die and hers doesn't. If the Emperor ever sleeps with her and gets her pregnant.
Now, this is a very long, slow plan that you would need to enact, and thus, in a lot of ways, Mao Mao is bringing things up way faster than they would like.
Right, and so that's one of the things that makes it extra fun with how this got revealed here.
Yes.
Is that, like, it is... progress is one of the things that's most entertaining about, like stories and stuff, right? You love to see it. And so seeing the protagonist get caught there can be a part of it where it's like, oh, this is fun and exciting, but it can also be like, oh, that's too bad, right? But the fact that she got caught because she was so close to cracking this whole thing wide open. And in fact, while she's being held captive, she is probably like, oh shit.
Well, I think I figured it out.
Yeah, like, things that might have been suspicions or above my pay grade, I don't want to get my head cut off. Well, guess what? No longer suspicions because they're confirming with the abduction. And 2, you don't really need to worry about your head getting cut off from knowing too much because you're already there,
And the part that is probably the most fun about this is that if Shisui is a hostage, they can do the smart thing where they put Shisui in the same captive position with Mao Mao to have them figure out what she knows. Which then can give them the gauge as to whether or not they just kill Mao Mao on the spot because she's dangerous.
Right, and it's just we're moving your body out of the rear palace.
Well, right, or then potentially leveraging that as blackmail to then use Mao Mao for their own ends. The part that is probably the most scary about this is that these antagonists, these women here, are at an equal or greater level of intelligence and connections than Mao Mao even is.
Oh, yeah.
So all it would take is to extend the influence into okay, this is what you know. Wonderful. Mao Mao, we've determined a nice, lovely list of people that you care about. And we hold all of their lives in our hands. If you want to start seeing them one by one start dropping, go ahead, share your secrets, spill your secrets here.
Well, right, but
we're going to need you to do some things for us here.
Yeah, maybe. But the thing is that unless they're wanting her to like specifically use her closeness with Jinshi or something to try and kill Jinshi, which I feel like that would not go well because because then you're putting your hostage in contact with the person of power that could then fuck you guys.
No, totally. That's why I think this is not something where they literally put her in the physical position to kill Jinshi. It's more that they're like, Mao Mao, we need you to make something for us. We need your actual poison expertise.
Right, because they're all using hackneyed knowledge from the... Which I love
that reveal so much.
Lil Min was like, oh, hey, these are the safety guidelines, basically, of don't do these things. And even if he wasn't like too much on the details, right, just don't pick plants from, this part of the rear palace or whatever, without permission or whatever.
Avoid these scents,
Yeah, exactly, right? Don't mix,
lead, powder, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
He basically just gave those people poison tips.
Yep.
And I love it's not because he's an idiot or what have you. No, it's because he's so kind-hearted that he doesn't see the way in which people could view this as a possible other thing.
Right.
In a fun way, he's colorblind to the evils of the world.
Oh, sure. Or
he doesn't see the ways in which him giving a good thing can be then took and inverted as a...
Well,
and
put another way, with how the show was at the beginning, Mao Mao coming in, and the level of ignorance that she found at the palace.
Right.
Well, now we kind of know why.
Yeah.
Right? Now, granted, it wasn't complete ignorance because, sadly, there were some other people who still had that info and stuff.
Because they were old enough to stick around.
Because they were old enough to stick around. But, yeah, it's like... And maybe it wasn't a conscious decision to take down those kinds of warnings. Maybe it's just Luomin did those while he was here and he's not here anymore, right? Who's watering the plant after the person who waters it gets fired kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But there is the possibility that it's we have it that way intentionally because we like it that way. We don't actually want them to get that, educated,
Yep.
But...
Yeah, the reveal basically that the servant girls were going to start getting educated in a lot of ways seemed like the kind of thing where it was setting up the way in which information was controlled within the rear palace being something that on the lower level side of things with the servants, it was actually intentional that they weren't educated anymore upon entering the palace. Because obviously you just go, well, that's not necessary. And it's like, well,
for their station and all that.
for their station. But then you think about it a little bit and you go, well, actually,
there are ways that it could be very helpful.
There are ways that it actually could be very helpful.
Right, but because, like, which I love this because this is, this is at a time where, because of technology, information doesn't travel very quickly. But as a result of that, managing a large number of people is a miracle.
Yeah.
Like so the idea, like you would
you
not
have hierarchy. You have a lot of little sub-managers.
But as a result of that, you would not be able to control and make sure that, no one has the means to do bad stuff, right? The way you do that is by making it so that they don't actually know anything.
Well, yeah, you'd keep the exterior secure, which is about as doable as it is with, like, keeping, men with cocks out of the place by just saying, well, they don't have something there, so therefore we've done our job.
Sure. Yeah.
The absence of something appearing here a certain way doesn't mean that nothing of that nature that is, harmful is still, like,
right. The ease with which they have been
for decades, apparently.
making shit happen and making sure that the emperor does not have any male heirs, is a testament to how impossible it is to make sure that, no one in the thousands of people back here, have the desire to cause harm, right? Like, just a little bit of information is out there, and suddenly, oh, hey, you have this poisoning cabal.
Yeah, and in some ways, they kind of had it coming. Let's bring this up here, in that the previous emperor, and with the empress kind of running things in that regard, they kept so much shit in the palace, where it, like, stunk.
Yeah.
Like, the place became
it's
rank
going to do
with
nothing but...
And so the idea that in a lot of ways things are so much better than the way they were before, it feels right then that the problem here now is that there's remnants of not the shit itself,
but there's still the mold that hasn't been cleaned.
The mold that hasn't been cleaned, but the idea that that effect of that mold basically is still here.
Right.
These are real people that suffered, that had their lives ruined.
Just the
forever.
idea that because, you got fucked by the emperor, therefore you can never leave this place because your station is effectively changed. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so then your resentment festers just like
Like you're just a lifelong prisoner.
Yeah.
With some maybe fancy trappings.
Well, right, but it's the thing where you look at it and go, then the new regime comes in and sees that there are people here that you also continue the imprisonment because you're rotating people every 2 years, which I think is a great security measure in a lot of ways.
That makes total sense, yeah.
Total sense. But then you don't do it for these women?
Well, and I mean, Mao Mao brought up a great point, right?
Yeah.
In that they are able to, have a lot of, like, just medical help, or be medical help to people at the palace, right? Like, before she started, like, asking the questions, or rather, before Suirei came in and said, she gleaned everything from that conversation.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she was going to leave just fine, right? It was going to be someone comes along. Yes, you're an apothecary. Of course you'd be curious about, stuff like this. And, looking at our books and stuff. Go for it,
Go for it, yeah.
Right, because exempting the royal family, what was her name? Shenlu?
Shenlu, yeah.
She is doing a lot of help.
Oh,
right?
she's looking out
for everyone here.
All the women here, because specifically, in a lot of ways, she was a helpless young woman at one point. Not even a woman, a helpless young child.
Yeah.
That was beset by powerful people who did not care at all about her. And so she's now in some ways trying to just be that helpful person of influence here.
And she is there isn't like a replacement for her.
No,
right?
not
From the
really.
standpoint of like being that help. Not, and of course she can't leave, right? But
Yeah.
she's the only one doing that, right?
Right. I understand her complicated motivations.
Oh, absolutely.
But what's so cool about this is that Suire coming in and being like, I've been watching her. I'm protecting you. We're gonna clean this up here.
Yep.
Is fun because from what her role is in the story, she is the anti-Mau Mau.
Yeah.
Like she has the ability to perceive kind of the subtler things.
Yeah, she was declared rival with a capital R.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now she gets a win here. Like clearly she gets a win here. But I am so fascinated, and that's why I'm leaping to a bunch of crazy ideas and stuff of what is it that's keeping Mau Mau alive? This show handles its world building and its characters and its writing and everything so in such a fine-tuned manner to the point that it actually like does the foreshadowing like 10 times basically in order to make sure like you could see this coming if you were looking in the right way. If you had the Mau Mau eye,
This show does foreshadowing fantastically.
yeah, then you'd be able to see this. So the fact that I don't know exactly what Suire's motivations are here,
Right.
in that we should be able to get a little bit of a clue in that, given that Mau Mau's not dead.
So, well, and that's why I think she hasn't been moved out of the rear palace yet. Because Mau Mau brought up if you kill me here, they'll find out it happened here. Right? Like that's, and that kind of a thing, I feel like is her biggest protection and why, why they don't need to have
Gotcha.
Leave your location, or whatever, right? Is because if it's an individual that would do something, they don't want to die, right? Presumably, for the, 99.99% of the cases, right?
Right.
If you're talking about an organizational kind of thing like here, if they're onto you, you're all dead, right? Like it's not just the person who kills Mau Mau is in trouble. It's you and the people who employ you, right?
Right.
So they need to be very careful, and so I think that's our best excuse for why Mau Mau's dead now or not dead now, and that it's But
then if she gets found, then this whole thing is gonna go up in flames for them.
Oh no, I know, which is why it's like, wait, hang on, show, but
You're escalating things so fast.
This is 2/3 of the way through the season. Like, huh?
Right, which in my opinion means in some ways they're going to find some way to silence Mau Mau that doesn't involve killing her, which is why I leap towards blackmail and threats and stuff like that, because it's the kind of thing where Mau Mau, her motivation, and we've been reminded of this many times, is not to fall in love with Jinshi. Is not to save the Imperial Palace from the dooms of its dark past coming back with these revenants of revenge coming to
and there could
harm them here.
And there could absolutely be the thing where Mau Mau's like, hey, just so you know, like I know that killing me is the most thorough thing to do and all that stuff.
Right.
I have seen a lot of shit.
I like my head,
I like my head. I've seen a lot of shit while I've been back here.
Yes.
There have been many things that I've just not talked about.
Yep.
Because and I'm not going to tell you about them, right? And it's just that is how I ensure my own survival. Now the thing is that from their perspective, if they can kill her, there's no reason for them not to. Unless Shisui specifically is like, but I like Mau Mau and I don't want to.
Yes.
Right?
That's another one that I hadn't considered. That's a very good point. Is that if Lowland Shisui is like number 2 in this organization potentially, like if Suire is their attack dog, like they're smart, kind of in with all of this, and then Lowland is basically the one that will be, in charge, basically, via her father's positionings and things like that. She could basically be like, I claim her, basically.
Yeah, here's actually how it could happen. Now, granted, Mau Mau is close to figuring out Shisui, Lowland, that whole thing, because of the book. Yeah. And that's something that they could theoretically find out about. Who knows? But there is the possibility that they cut this thing off as a thing that we were not, like Lolan's family does not have to be implicated in this necessarily.
Nope.
It could be this was the vengeful desires of, right, some people, and oh yeah, they started doing this whole thing. Oh, good job that we stopped them. And that's how you can basically have the conflict for the show continue, because otherwise it's like, wait, is this going to be the final season of Apothecary Diaries?
No, definitely not. No.
Because you can't just make an organization like this come up again, right? Like,
that's why I was saying you could, but it would be on the scale of an army invading.
No, right, yeah, it's not the dirty secrets intrigue kind of a thing, right? Like, because this is
it's the political large scale stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's kind of a different sort of conflict than what this show generally
and I do
does.
think that the show is going that direction. That's why the children of the consorts is the biggest plot related thing, because we're moving towards who will be the next emperor,
right?
Like, eventually. And I think then that this season is there to build up the idea that Mao Mao will officially be brought into the fold with the emperor and his son's side here, and thus, we will potentially see that they are either like aware of how intense this fight is, and that this is something that Mao Mao has plenty more to learn about how in depth this goes, and that might be even something where we build up how competent the emperor is, and that he's also aware of all this stuff, and they're also positioning things in such a way to make sure that it doesn't get that bad.
Right, like Lacan just showing up and doing that whole thing, even if it was just for the whole colorblind, reveal, that makes me feel a lot more secure in Mao Mao's safety, even though I know from a meta angle, of course, she will be, because
totally.
That's the kind of people that would be in the search, right?
Right. Lacan is the kind of character where he is not just intelligent, but he is gleefully having fun being this intelligent.
Right.
So while Shisho is very good at giving nothing away visually on his face, Lacan still gets to play his mind games and ends up having him reveal things, even though Shisho really did such a good job of being like, oh, I'm an old, man, and I'm just,
Shisho's pleading the fifth, and Lacan's still playing with that, right?
Yeah.
Like Shisho is so entirely not able to compete in that game that it's just, I stay quiet and do nothing, right? Like,
right. He wins by basically Lacan getting a Stonewall mask.
Yeah, exactly.
Shisho's got the mask so fully on that Lacan's like, no. You're so concentrated on maintaining the mask that when I show the other thing that actually is the thing that was to get at you all along,
he's just doing some basic conning and
your
chicanery.
whole face goes red of like, I am sus here.
Yep.
Which I will say that was a very harsh edit to basically cut from the hostage situation to that. But the way that it then revealed so much while also having Otomo be brought back, I love the way that this show handles its ensemble cast and rewards us with these delightful little ways in which characters get brought back up into the fold of things.
And also, something that I gotta say that I think is really important here is the way that, like, cutting away from Mao Mao being like, hey, you're gonna die, basically, to random, mind games and stuff. There's that inherent assumption that because we're leaving that thing that is clearly way more important than whatever's happening here, even though this is probably important, this is going to tie back to this, right?
Right.
And like, there's that inherent promise from the show and from, how you understand it and how it's portrayed.
It's more foreshadowing also for the Shisho Lolan.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah,
and so I really like how they did that, of that it was with Shisho, that it was the, finding him out about the colorblind thing, and then Duo being the, the stand-in for Jinshi reveal, right? So that it's the, Jinshi is looking for her.
We did pass some time.
Lacan also might be aware of the situation.
Oh, Lacan, I think, was immediately brought into the situation, and that's why he's on the attack.
Yeah.
Is that he's like, clearly, This is involving potentially the one that I've been the most sus about in general with your recent way in which, your daughter ended up into this position. Very interesting. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, also this FIFA design. We disassembled it down to its micro components. And we've got people now in on this here.
Right.
And the idea that Jinshi and people just in general have this thing with Lacan that he's scary.
Yeah.
He's so intelligent. You just don't talk with him. He's the strategist. With the capital S.
Yeah, and actually
the
earned
Emperor.
the title.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he knows potentially that his daughter is missing.
Oh, I know.
And in some ways, maybe this is another funny thing, but him showing that devotion to his wife through the way he's gushing about the Go game, it's a fun way of saying, I love my family. I love them so much.
Yeah.
If you can see the way that I would be so joyous about the time I get to spend with my wife. How much more so do you think I would be vengeful about someone that laid their hands on my daughter?
And not just that.
Right.
So, in the movie Amadeus about Mozart.
Oh, yes.
It goes
Wonderful
into this whole idea that he was not actually appreciated by most people in his time.
Yes.
Except the next best composer.
Right.
Who's like, holy shit, this guy's a genius.
Yes.
Everyone else is sort of
Salieri, yeah.
oh, yeah, Salieri. Everyone else is sort of like, oh, yeah, I mean, it's good, right? But they don't really get it, right? And so Lacan showing the Go game is, in my mind, him basically saying, I'm going to explain to you how genius this is because I know you can't.
Yeah, you can't see it.
You can't see it, right? And so.
Oh my God! It's another thing of him proving how blind he is to certain things.
Right.
To then set him up for the colorblind thing. It's almost like he's
that's
playing.
a good point.
It's almost like he's playing a joke.
Oh yeah, showing him a bunch of white and black pieces.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I love this show. This show's so fun. But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon to get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See anything that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.